I want to ask you guys a real question. Help me out here because I'm baffled by something. Now, Vegas usually knows things when they put out their lines for the weekend. Yeah, they've been wrong about Nebraska this year the whole time. They thought Nebraska was a favorite against Georgia Southern by 21 points, lost. Favorite against Northwestern, lost.
North Dakota.
I don't think they covered the spread in that game.
It was probably close.
It was close. I think there was a 20-point spread. There was
and they ended up winning by 21.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. So Nebraska begins the week as a 3.5-point favorite against Indiana. It's anywhere from 2.5 to 3.5, depending where you look at it. Indiana's 3-1 with a 1-0 conference record. They beat Illinois early in the season. Nebraska has one win against North Dakota, with losses to Northwestern, who's awful, Georgia Southern, and Oklahoma. Can you please explain to me, Sip, why or how this team, without its, with head coach fired, defensive coordinator fired, yes, coming off a bye week, but still 1-3, should be favored in any football game right now, especially in conference play? Help me out.
Especially against a 3-1 team that's not a bad Indiana.
No, that's not a bad team.
It's strange. I will tell you that I agree with you.
I'm just lost. I'm just baffled by it. I'd like the text line to try to explain, or callers at 464-5685, but I see this and I don't get it.
If you're betting on Nebraska, you're betting on Nebraska winning a track meet. Okay. You're betting on Trey Palmer and Marcus Washington, on Isaiah Garcia Castaneda and Alante Brown, literally putting on track shoes, and Anthony Grant putting on track shoes, not football cleats, and winning probably a game where Nebraska, if it's going to win, would have to probably score 35. I mean, 35.
I think at least.
See that? I know that's the thing. Now think about the pressure on that side of the ball. You guys, if we're going to win this, we got to probably score 35. And Casey, you're going to have to throw for 300 at the minimum,
at least
the minimum
in the first half.
Right. Because Indiana, I'll give you a stat.
I'd like a stat.
Here's a stat for you. Heading into Saturday, the Indiana Hoosiers, there's only one team in the country that has run more plays than Indiana. The Hoosiers ran 104 plays alone in the loss to Cincinnati and have 337 on the season. So what does that mean? Here's what it means to me. Nebraska has been mistake prone on defense, alignment issues, bus at the line of scrimmage,
right.
Bus in the back end. The more plays that are run, the more chances there are for bus and misalignment and mental errors. And also, you see where I'm going with that?
I do.
Indiana revs it up. Connor Bazelak threw it 66 times against Indiana, 55 times the game before that, 66 times. Nebraska's weakness on defense, they're all over the place, but they're most profound in the secondary and inside linebacker, where they'll pick on those guys in coverage.
Whether it's tight ends or the guy in the slot.
Right.
Yeah.
So, it's scary. Indiana's going to – come on. Indiana's, first of all, they're going to come in. They're not going to be scared. The night game thing, I used to say, well, it's at night. That really helps.
Georgia Southern played like they were Georgia that night.
They were playing like it was a 7-on-7 game in Memorial Stadium.
A two-hand touch.
Yeah, I mean, they weren't rattled at all by that scene.
They were actually playing really good football.
Yeah.
They were energized by it.
Yeah, Van Treese wasn't shaken by the crowd at all. I mean, not even a little bit, it didn't seem like, right? So throw that out. I used to play that night game card, but I'm not really playing that anymore. Teams come in there at night and they're just fine. They operate just fine.
Nebraska did last season. They played pretty well at night. They
blasted
Northwestern.
Michigan,
the Michigan game was awesome. And they lost the game, but it was a good football game against a good football team.
Well, they had Adrian back then.
Of course, Sip. They had Adrian. Yeah. They did.
They had Adrian.
I do recall. They had Adrian Martinez.
Very stable at quarterback.
Oh, yeah. The most stable. Okay. Help us out here, though. 402-464-5685. I'm just trying to find any reason why, besides just baiting Nebraska fans, if Vegas is looking at this game and sees Nebraska as a favorite, it is a home game, it's a night game, which is, we just discussed, doesn't matter as a night game. Why would Nebraska, why should they be favored? If you believe the line is correct, why, in your opinion, Husker fan, is Nebraska the better team? Why should they win this game when they are not playing good football at all?
Because Indiana ranks 109th nationally in total defense.
Well,
Nebraska ranks 127th.
Exactly. With that being said, you should expect a track meet.
Yeah.
It should be a high-scoring game. Now, what you said about the Indiana offense, they have the second most plays in all of Power 5 or FBS.
Right.
That means, guess what? They also convert third downs. Then they keep drives moving at that play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
not a bunch of huge plays. I mean, they probably have had some long plays.
They're not efficient,
but it's going to be, they're going to convert third downs though.
Yeah,
I would say maybe don't always finish drives, but
yeah. So they have some guys that concern you, and Cam Camper's number one on the list. He's a big receiver. Big receiver, Texas kid, had 17, was targeted 17 times against Cincinnati, had 10 catches for 126 yards. I like him, and I like their running back, Sean Shivers, 19 carries for 79 yards against Cincinnati, and he's a little hide behind the line, scored out of their running back, 5'7", 185, but tough Big Ten running back. Well coached. Indiana's well coached. And Indiana is going to come in playing for a lot. They're not rattled. Nebraska's been rattled, right? Indiana's not rattled right now. I mean, they lost a game they were supposed to lose at Cincinnati and didn't play all that badly in the second half. They played poorly in the first half, down 38-10.
Good second half.
But Cincinnati on that game rushed 30 times for 40 yards. Okay.
Not running the ball.
They didn't run the ball. Cincinnati did not run the ball. Now let's see what Nebraska can do against Indiana. I noticed against Illinois, I thought one of the impressions that Indiana left me with in the Illinois game was I thought they looked pretty physical up front. Not great. They're not great on defense. They're not 109th nationally, but they looked pretty physical up front. And they did a good job against Cincinnati's run game. Real good job against Cincinnati's run game. It was Ben Bryant, the Cincinnati quarterback, who sliced them up in the first half, 300 yards passing in the first half. So Casey should have a night. He should have a night.
He should, if he has time to throw the ball.
Mm-hmm. And this is big. I mean, everybody agrees, I think, that this is a pretty big game for Nebraska.
Seriously,
I know it sounds strange. But
it does sound strange, but it is, because if you want this season to still be something, if you want it to potentially, hey, maybe something sparks the team and they win 3 or 4 games or at least have contention for a bowl game.
Yeah.
If they lose this game, I don't think there's any chance it happens.
You wouldn't probably think.
Like I said before the season, Northwestern was, again, I thought the biggest game of the season, and Nebraska sits here 1-3 because it was a tone setter for the season. Like last season, I'm not trying to say I'm right all the time.
Every game's a
tone. But Nebraska has had 2 chances the last 2 years against bottom teams in the Big Ten to set the tone and change the narrative of the seasons, and they've lost both of them. Last year they went 3-9. This year, after 4 games, they've already out their head coach and their defensive coordinator because they didn't set the tone properly against Northwestern.
It's not even the end of September.
Yeah.
I mean, and we're in a coaching search.
We're in carnage already here. It's carnage.